Okofo kwesi berima obebribiaye.
Wabra bra breya. Wabra bra breya. Wajamu. Wajanechi. Wabra bra breya. Wabra bra breya. Wajamu. Wajanechi.
Welcome to Obuasi, home of gold, home of Anglo Gold Ashanti. Obuasi, which means under the rock, is an ancient gold mine dating several centuries back when local people used different methods to extract gold from the rocks and the land surface. In 1897, the land in and around what is presently known as Obuasi was granted to the then Ashanti Goldfields Corporation, AGC, now Anglo Gold Ashanti, AGA, for the purpose of large-scale mining. AGC started operations and with time established an amiable relationship with the local people. This relationship has been maintained through the years, with AGC providing several township amenities as well as contributing not only to the national economy but also to the local economy. Today, from the outside, Obuasi appears to be a quiet town lying between gold-bearing hills. On a closer look, however, one is confronted with a malignant problem which, if not checked, could be a recipe for disaster. The issue of illegal mining, popularly called galamsey.
Galamsey, adibia, mseba Obuasi ache na nansi na bibia ekono ya hadwin kakra. First no nanka omune nam surface ubunwa ohun se AGA ka kreba na wodwane no wayere ne boba kakra no oko. Basisi ano bibia edu ne se omo eko underground. Bibia yeye enkofo yi ejuma ene bibia ye freni dips shaft ni mu bibia no kra na edi mines no ni future ebekwenim no no omo kwa no makochipo boba na gold wo mu no na oma afako. Apart from that, a process only we are pipe or said the engine, a deco dams, and also normal disrupting. Yes, to me, and ye a juma view. Now, see job production for be about 1 day. Na yashe na ye answer apart from that, Kofu bin so do one frame the trade a cable. Say last year and last 2 years, almost about $4 million. Yes, no, because a transformer because we could track cable. Ma nkaseme beba na enye kra. Enti inyoma pii ho a ekoswa amasisi agalamse no de bebi ekono si anhwe ne yansomo a ha company ne pa.
It must be mentioned that artisanal small-scale mining is practiced legally in Ghana, and this does not constitute the problem under review. What is causing the problem is illegal small-scale mining on the AGA concession. This presents a daunting challenge.
This vertical hole we have in there is a shaft, it's a schematic one. And the blue one that I have in here represents the gold-bearing rock. It's not every rock that carries gold. The rock of interest is the gold-bearing rock. Now that's a shaft happened to pass through gold-bearing rock. So what we do is that we don't mine everything. So normally we leave an area, as we can see it, with these dotted marks. That is what we call the shaft pillar. Within that we don't mine. So outside this area has been mined. Outside this area has been mined. That used to be very good grade. It was mined many years ago. Now when the illegal miners come in, they come into the pillar area. And blasts with explosives. So what is happening is that every blast that you take is affecting the shaft barrel. So over time, this shaft will start weakening, and that could affect the future use of the shaft. And as I mentioned earlier, this is a strategic shaft for mining the dips, because it goes down to 1 mile and the dips is below 1 mile. So if you compromise Adansi shaft, eventually the resources in Adansi shaft area cannot be accessed. That is going to be very, very difficult for us. So it is very important that we prevent illegal miners getting underground.
For almost the entire mine life, the practice of galamsey has also been in existence.
Obuasi has a very rich history in mining. Long before 1897, when mechanical mining started here, we had some mining going on, and we had a dual economy. We had the mining and agriculture. So in the dry season, people went into mining. In the wet season, they went to the agriculture.
In the past, the galamseyers operated on the surface fringes of the Obuasi concession. For the past 2 years, however, the story is different. The practice of galamsey has taken on a criminal dimension, putting many lives, their own, the company's employees, as well as that of their dependents, at risk.
They came in their numbers to Cat3 and wanted to go into the hole, to underground, welding weapons, cutlasses, clubs, and other things. We have a police team that are stationed there to, prevent people from using that access to underground. So when the police tried to prevent them from going, it resulted in they want to do illegal mining, but then they want to do it in a violent way, unlike what it used to be in the past.
They can maneuver through this line to Adansi, level 23. Then when they reach, then they start to disturb the workers there. Not only there, they can also go to Kodo Belt and then the North Ram Belt, all for their illegal activity.
Yeah, I was at my base with my men when I received a call from the operations commander that a group of bandits had invaded this place and were causing damage to properties worth millions of dollars. So I rushed to this place with my men. When we came here, I saw that this road, the road here, had been blocked with stones and trees. So we parked the car here and we started removing the stones and the trees. Not knowing the men had laid ambush at the top there, armed with cutlasses, sticks, and locally manufactured pistols. So as soon as we started removing them, suddenly they rushed towards us. And the driver too and the AGC workers, they were afraid. So they drove the car away, leaving me and the men here alone. I started begging them, please, I beg, stop, don't do that. They said, you police, we will kill you, you will see. You know, if you knew how hungry we are, you wouldn't have come here pleading with us to stop. We will kill you today, you will see. But still, the people were rushing on us with cutlasses. So I asked my men to run away with us. You were holding guns, but life is precious. I did not want to kill. So they started chasing us from this place. We went to the top of the hill there, and still the people were chasing us, not knowing another group were standing at the top of the hill there. So we were behind, we were trapped between them, and there was nothing we could do. So I ordered the men to fire. By then, they were about to slash one of my men, and there was nothing we could do. So I ordered them to fire, but in fact, they did well. They should have killed, but they started firing in the air, except one man who tried to slash one of the constables, and they fired the hand here.
Even the bear was so about 12 and a half. We got 2 ministry to work or 2 now I got 2 near call Marco 2 Ben Prince. The Tosso 9. You call after money and could do on the cross cut no more. That is 290 cross cut. No more India here and I say we if you enter cross cut now, yes, on to our mono. India down say Eddie. India say Kenu Mbekasa. Do you start to Abuba at the brew? Yeah, come. And I'm here to script for me and say, yes, I be a number probably. In the sign, I is any panels of doors and taking our letter. Yet we come Sabrin. In the sign, my be fast, will be far from. In the form of Rema Mukuya and Omba to many or Mubumi. Woman is a can of Bommy. nti me ade agye me nkwane ba ko na ka say mu ya na panyin we de bi oba obekasa kire yin e no so akwa na opeso this guy no ekumi na na so pram no oso ni e na me ye ready say me nso mi sane nti o mototo no ma o mbi aba hwehwe mi chemi ni ade ma mi chemi ni tutu nti e ba sa na me hu ba bia biem na me ye ngakra na me say ma ye adwuma che o daade nti no me ye ngakra na me so le de no na me sane ko e mi ko nyina no no mototo e no magu ye so e mo mutri ya by 14 level e ba to explosive say de be ya wo mbenya kwan no mo adwane akọ.
It has become imperative to examine the problem and deal with it because mining is mainstay to Ghana's economy, contributing an average of 6% of the country's GDP between the year 2000 and 2008. In terms of total merchandise exports, the proportion contributed by mineral exports rose from 36% in year 2000 to 44% in 2008. Of all these figures, gold accounts for over 90%, with Anglo Gold Ashantis being one of the biggest contributors. In addition, Anglo Gold Ashanti contributes to national and community development through corporate social responsibility projects, including schools, hospitals, sports facilities, etc. AGA also employs a significant number of citizens as its regular workforce as well as auxiliary employment. In fact, it is said that the Obuasi township revolves around the mine. With the current problem, AGA's colossal investment is at risk, and along with it a large number of livelihoods. Worse yet, many lives are also at risk.
And I do 7 o'clock, 7:15 to 7:30 na meko juma. Ti ma change me home, meko change area for no. Ti me change omo bi omo ko. Ti me share me overall. Me e change omo wi me share matare wi na me no nsuo na me dia beto outside. Ti me dey to dax bi no na me da mani asa ko brother mo. Me kodru ho me da mani na kona na me tis etuo nka ewo me tiri fa ha se nyina na me tito fo ti nam ye nam nipa bienu na ewo na security private security ba ko ono so ho ti agana do ono private security no na dimrika be fa tazi na je so mtim ba AGC hospital edi ba AGC hospital no omo se omo ntimi na omo dimi ko ji ti ji na nyame ada roma once we call an ajube 738 year cooperation be a call no munyan ma a ho area tawa the muyan say well I'm serious ni be my dress all black up and down now we create him see be police for and no by so maybe a chance on you in fact in group we dos 7 year call security for 7 year call by young group one place a spread or area or to be meeting on BPM so first person on BPM so na no be some say o hwan no na so bisa so hwan no aban yen sane for police for no me kan aban no one will treat you single bara ibi if for hunters use ibi or two two no na me jam moto from what to ye some anda from there na kukumi that's a 100 on page 9 short distance am jam moto until be meeting no sit na mtezo be go so direct and a pete me ho jana jono ande free kana the officer kan on the cabe family na jono edme ba hospital.
The problem can be better understood and perhaps a solution more readily found if it is examined from both ends.
Na AGC wo ho no na surface mining emma kuro mu ha ne de na edumati pa ye family ye ma menu papa mu ina family ba surface mine no obe clear sa farmlands ni na nti at the moment no adwuma potin pa de be ni ho nti ho oden a you go into galamsey ninta make us ho oden na wo komuni say AGA will not allow you
ye ko na ti ko be pos AGC be AGA boy no dwuma wie na wonye dwuma wie no e abanda elis on ye kokofa sa de a ye ho dwuma iba eno se boa me any omo ye ni obi sunu ne yire mo because we ba the tell we see on kan bi na me komi ko na me koye se me de ba on so be si obanyi sika ona ko na yire ne mana me ko ma ne dilan so ato dilan no beto on so be expect na ire aboa nation no nti mfisi eduma na yende ana eni boni biasa ba ha o mu se si e kwa e fa ha o mu pa e bitim ko wu nyina because kan ni eduma wo soro e bi o ma na etutu ye na etutu ya mu na ba na no eji yakata mara nyenta ama yakọ be bi se e fa bitum ko underground ko chini ya ko chiri pa timi ko chiri pa be timi ko be 1500 meter deep asa ko fa de no de aba ye ba ni ya nanti ba so jafo tumi che bitum ko tumi sakiwu
ye ko soro ye kwa de bi ma echi e Obuasi galamsey nko mutumi chi ya more than so we ko kan adwuma me see ye che me tum ye jim 25 million cash you fans on mu jami o de me che no ne de bia wo obako bia be chewo be so ha na yet no yentimi nkowia
na I'm starting galamsey adwuma ko be 15 years ni as a galamsey adwuma na risky Ghana nkasa no ye nya adwuma bia anye ye adwuma ye ya ne galamsey no ba esa ni protect wo ye ni mbo bia ti ye ni mbo bia wo ba ko se the same galamsey adwuma na ye force bia just by yetimi ko ba yetimi nya just bia 1.5 2 million still now no kra no companies no mo hae ye force kra enkoso now obi kra wa ye or ma lad bay water bay ese ni na bi sise djuma we ya no be yansa na wa de otua ye chew so timi ko jail
percent ka wo mo boa ye senke be fam rantie na adwuma ana se ye be me ye baabi memrantie no so atumi adidi ise baabi wo ho mo ase se wo nya adwuma ho biem a ye nyina ye ni tua baabi di se ka so no ni ade nyina ye ni tua senke wo mo de saasase ne ma ye ya enka memrantie be nya baabi adidi na ya se ka wo yare kura wo nya skadi ahwe no ho yare onyame so ato bibi adi
se mnyama ise adwuma bi sisi amemeye because me ho den nya adwuma bi ameye easy because of say baby amefa ko no ane my idea me wo adwuma no ho me de ye no se wo fa me adwuma na se me ye adwuma na me ni se wo so me so a me kwa akọji me pe a me ha me ho nko baby abium metima ye adwuma no
ye mpaso bi ba ya de ba ha mine no be ya de be say mining company no anase se mine no so gu agalamse ko parent me ye because so ba ba just nafa ti ye mpa body ye pese mines na etenase me mo no se de baby ni mines ni wo na o mo baby adwuma no takwa mines bebre o mo baby adwuma nti kaboa so ye nso wa ni so ni baby ye adwuma ni ndidi
me AGA no dia me se ha me se ye tete ha ye na mo ayen sa ase adanse ha no wo mo ado keke kura na obi bitima do na ne de akoma sini ana de ama obi se omra emeya do anase bia adwuma bia mo kan sen on skilled laborers no bitimi ayeden aye no ne de komo obi na se na mo nso ayen sa ase no ase bi nkura no e ha wo mo no e wo so no so mo ama ya adwuma bi ne ye na ase bi ye nkura no ya employ mo de ye ya do mo me bi no de be enya sufficient oh ibetimi am plan kwala na o mo yesa galamsey adwuma ni nyina bem no mo enye bibi do mo paniska me boana nipa de woto no ade o pensa bosom be so benye bibi adie so na o yesa wansu adwuma wan ko sku yankọ tintimi ma na adwuma anyo de a de kwan bia so be hawo
masa eye kom ana ma nipa ne ko yesa de a anyi bibi o se nipa kokora no eye kom because ade na wo kuro mu di ko no se ade na di fi se ma nya de a o be nipa ana nya de so e benya so ye fa wo nipa mu ni na e be san kitin sa so ndi sane ati nya de a ho de e hu anga san enye be bi o se nipa kra na tiko na so e kom enyi komani bre ana ma nipa no etimi ye de e ko sa ndia no
ka monfa emebu na djuma general labor ya prapra kwa ombeye se de mo se be ko mo ano eno ni ho a eno no edu mebia na ye nhya mo kentin because bia na ayi intake no e makwan se mo be fa obi adwuma there are abandoned areas at this time munya adwuma ho mo ye surface mo nya deep mine ho mo ye surfaces keke ho na mo koye unse sika efefe nti mo ye surfaces na mo akọ about 10 years time no I said the na a year waste a to go yeno. You can see a comochina ye juria, ye benya kakra a little than a day. Company ya weboka because they are what will go into it no. Won't mean tineka. By yen case babuno ya, or more than 1 day. Any come near the nay into or much than Maca Crabbe Piano, one but told you and a company is one penny. Do I say a dialogue? Yes, and you go so no more case. Mamma Bruno and no more no but beer more in your jumo will be mono. Na fashion gambler.
According to Honorable Alhaji Collins Dawuda, the current Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, the artisanal small-scale mining subsector contributed about 15% of the total gold production in 2008. Also, an estimated 500,000 to 1 million people are directly involved in the subsector, with an additional 500,000 people involved in auxiliary activities or being direct beneficiaries. This means that if the activities of these people are regulated and coordinated, the whole nation stands to benefit. As it is, however, most people involved in artisanal small-scale mining are not legally documented. This represents the percentage that poses the problem. The problem also has several dimensions ranging from traditional land issues through unemployment and poverty to the judicious use of royalties.
Dear me, when say a quite on fast chess are royalties. A bino and a share. Now on cha ye walk the banana no and the assembly. And now stool lands name other agencies. Wamukura tiskanekasi. The banana mohona yemo saying. Na assembly sikana ne development. The any assembly sikana ekon. And not so because so what percentage of the banana mean to two figures and as here. But do no eco assembly omo and also on the development no. Na na musika de brand yesi mfanto sabi drunken pabo aso. Enye sika do so sa obase do mfasi division kra me we ye brace kase kwota e ko ba 10 million any 50 million wo de yeden e de wo me no bit me de aye enya no kre na sika do no ko assembly so mfanya project na de me no assembly for the fra common fund sika o mo de ko fra common fund sika na de development inti e man nipa na tin sa asen so hunu se sika no ene ye de sa project we ti me suggestion ne say ma royalties na eba no the beba assembly no omre ko project ya yan twro mo ho yan fa mo ho se sika na free AGA buy no eno ne de sa toilet ye de si school ye de sa road ye de we eno beba manfo de hu se sika na na mo je anya sa ankola ye omfi se sika no ye na nam na ye gidie.
There is also the issue of human rights.
Our position has always been that, yes, whenever somebody encroaches on your concession, yes, we admit it's a criminal offense. But there are laws in this country. You do not take the law into your own hands. The Constitution indeed guarantees your right to property and your right to protect such property. That is guaranteed in the Constitution. So we do not dispute that fact. But what we are against is where companies take the law into their own hands and mete out their own form of justice. That we are against.
Certain areas in pockets areas should be reserved for such small-scale mining, and let us stop tagging them as what illegal miners.
In spite of these concerns, it is only prudent to examine the issues dispassionately. To start with, the illegal miners undertake their activities without any consideration to their own safety and that of others. They venture underground without the requisite technical knowledge of the terrain and the required equipment, and this results in many disasters.
Sika wenya brasheno, sika iniwe nimo. Sika wenya brasheno, sika wawecho wajamo. Samwecha, sambefa. Sangwecha, 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 sangbefa. Adinya wenya brasheno, adinya ni weni mo. Adinya wenya brasheno, adinya wecho wejamo. Sangwecha, sangwecha, sangbefa. Sangwecha, 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 sangbefa.
The newspapers are replete with headlines chronicling such tragedy. Sometimes the rocks cave in on the galamseyers, trapping them underground and eventually leading to their death. The biggest problem, however, is the criminal nature the activity of these illegal miners is assuming.
Sangwecha, sangwecha, sambefa. Sangwecha, 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 sambefa.
Generally, the operations of the galamsey business take the form of financiers who contact others to organize the underground expeditions. These middlemen, in turn, contract the youth who venture underground to bring the ore for extraction of gold. These youth may enter the mine's adits through their own holes they have created or through old adits and may walk for hours to reach the gold-bearing rocks. They may descend underground, tampering with the complex mining infrastructure setup. They may also waylay truckloads of ore en route to the mine's refinery or even make their way to where the ore has been deposited through unapproved routes and make away with sackloads of raw quartz.
When the trucks are loaded with the ore, they are brought here to weigh. And these illegal galamseyers, they have the courage to climb up, to pick the ore. And when they pick the ore, they sit behind this place to break it. And sometimes, I think there was a time when one fell down and died. So that's why 2 policemen are always posted here on duty. And you see the net, they have cut this place. And they sometimes even get the courage to struggle with the policemen here.
In the process, they may attack the unarmed security guards and have actually resorted to the use of firearms to overpower those guards. This has necessitated the employment of the police and the army to help protect the mine, because failure to do so means the lives of the company's security guards are at risk.
Formerly, they were doing the illegal mining in the bush. They were not going to underground areas. And they were more or less harmless. But see, in recent times, nobody knows. But they've resorted to the use of so much violence in their activities. And it's difficult to contain the situation because we are not carrying arms. And besides, even the police who are here, they are very careful in the way they handle the weapons because of the voluntary principle on human rights.
A typical syndicate may consist of up to between 60 and 100 people, all engaged in different aspects of the illegal extraction process. Even though every phase of the process has its own associated risk, it is those who go underground who are most exposed to hazards, while all the financiers at the apex of affairs have to lose is their investment. And even when this happens, they organize the vulnerable youth to face off with the law and attack innocent guards.
They have taken the girls and the leaders away. You see, what you have done. It's unfortunate. People are in town and they are calling this as demonstration. Is it a demonstration? This is purely vandalism.
AngloGold Ashanti observed the voluntary principles of human rights and security, whereby the company's security personnel, the police and the military operating under concession are educated on these principles. The company respects the rights of all people, including those of illegal trespassers on the mine, not to be assaulted or mistreated. Unfortunately, the trespassers do not grant the same respect. It is clear that poverty, lack of alternative livelihood opportunity, and ignorance of the law also factor in the illegal mining. There is no one solution to the problem. It is a combination of social change, education, alternatives for employment, and sensible security measures that are required to address the problem.
Young workers no omo eye no adwuma na sisi anu abeye problem because omo wo adwuma omo wan say galamsey fo aba obo wa wo baby security ni wa na de sika na de tuo nti eno no high kakra nti ama sisi aye the police for the soldier for eba so omo timi apotete na the person ye kakra no so say ye ni nkofo pi kasa ye ni ahemfo kasa ye ni galamsey fo na abi omo from artist na manesi no ebi edinkita won every month biya say Mesia Galamsey no kono. Send you between aye, send you between akasa, na you to me solve that problem.
One must note that the mine cannot give employment to all qualified members from our host communities, even though a considerable number of them, depending on their skill levels, have been offered employment by the mine and its contractors. It is in this light that community members are encouraged to refrain from illegal mining and embrace the alternative livelihood initiatives which is safe and sustainable. The mine has initiated projects like aquaculture, garment factory, where overalls are sold for the mine and its allied contractors, piggery projects, among others. There are already signs of success chalked by those who have embraced these initiatives, and others are encouraged to participate.
Fata bibirimo yare ya mudende na mare kwa ya from you ebibirime
To help solve the problem, Anglo Gold Ashanti has come up with several social interventions, including trying to dialogue with the leaders of the Galamseyers. However, challenges still remain. It appears, though, that some elements that may stand to lose upon the reaching of a consensus between the two parties are pulling strings to stall the process. AGA, however, is undaunted and has gone on to introduce the Alternative Livelihood Project to help solve the unemployment problem and keep the youth away from the dangers of Galamsey. Even though a few people have complained about the Alternative Livelihood Projects, by and large, it appears a good start, as a journey of 1,000 miles, they say, begins with a step.
Our position is that let the people themselves decide what they want. Nobody can sit in an office somewhere, determine that these people, these Galamseyers, they are poor people. They do not have any livelihoods, and they are risking their lives. So let me go and ask them to rear grass cutter. It's not possible. Go to them, ask them what do they want, and then work with them, and then design that program. If you you allow them to participate in the program, that is where you are going to have general acceptance of the program.
Mako 5 tobacco bia 150 be 2 years ni nkrante ndi omotie an omotie omo wo no mako omani we feel say eduma no mo seti ndi aboy pa tentini say ama erisu sa Galamsey eduma no ne unemployment ama so atikakra yani bebre na ye ofia ye eduma no ye ba ha no in fact I make big impact wa ya bravo nti in my opinion there me feel say I'm good for my boy pa.
Say Ohana ya semre umano at the base council for AGA for a camp say omupese omude fantity no omumere yenye mproko said beya abame nso benya dise adwuma bi ade aya dache bede ebe boy ana edi din yede ekoe ana omude quantity e bi omu farm so
say ono no wowo obetie yesi okoimo yanchina owu sisi amiti abe pama de ye mim tumi nko na obi tumi meche nti fi say bia we ni ale pama say djuma na me ye no mo no wo mu sen say na sala ko galamsey ti galamsey ni de nya de mo aba
okay me to hu am check no say we no ya de ase me hwe ni ya abeboa me dachi achen galamsey na me de me di akire no.
Anglo Gold Ashanti is opposed to violence and confrontation and seeks peaceful resolution to any conflict. The aim of the company is to preserve safety on the mine site and to protect the property of the shareholders whilst respecting human rights and fundamental freedoms.
Union for no and you said in say the bag pam galamsey for near near Juma no. The Juma say you know Juma fu beti and the year dear no safety can because say the Americans say runners no so we blasina kom mia runners na cage no entimi fam and for mun ko ba bi omo yadwuma no so omo enam cage no so bi blase a ebe cage na gina ho bibia betimi asi electricity no dey demand enu ntino yaso ya hwe e masade no ensi.
The company is signatory to the International Code, the Voluntary Principles on Security and Human Rights. The management wishes to state that Anglo Gold Ashanti is not against galamsey, but the company is opposed to illegal entry to the mine for artisanal mining because it presents danger to them, our people, and property. To this end, the mine has been engaging all stakeholders, including the Chamber of Mines, Minerals Commission, chiefs, and other stakeholders to find land outside of AGA concession that has the potential to sustain small-scale mining for the galamseyers who will be registered and controlled. Again, the Minerals Commission has stated recently at a stakeholders conference in Elmina that the Commission has identified about 66 concessions nationwide for small-scale mining and is therefore inviting Ghanaians to apply to the Commission for allocation of such concessions.
Now, our policy is that small-scale mining is a legal way of mining according to the laws of Ghana. We cannot say anything against the laws of Ghana. Ghana, as a nation, approves of small-scale mining and has actually given people licenses to mine. If anybody is doing a small-scale mining activity without a license, that person is breaking the laws of Ghana because the person does not have the right to mine. I think it's as simple as that.
All in all, AGA recognizes the need to do business in a safe and friendly environment, while also on its part contributing to the development of the community. Anglo Gold Ashanti is committed to fostering dialogue to quell the unfortunate violence once and for all.
Obi kwa bet na crowd so or kwa aba but fian so but fian so wo for kwa na homa no me nko hoda omosa homa no bitimi be se pole light pole be 10 and san okuta homa mu no de asan no de sifo ne se so wo kona sa homa ne tia eno wan so wede area nipa be 6 omo tia area ha omo wuye obu okwa omo ye gu bottom ye di san gu bottom ne na be fie ye timpo ne da no nina tese ya mema na esa
eduma na ehu obi mu kokura wo mma ikom ko so ne ya chi wo mo nanga sakura ya chi no ama me yanga se bigina ya ka bebre dam so me chi akura mpo.
The company is very much alive to its corporate responsibilities and hopes to forge a new partnership. It is hoped that the chiefs, Opinion leaders and officials of the community will also lead the crusade to achieve this much desired impact.
We are trying, we are educating for them to understand that what is not yours, you ask, but you don't need to encroach on.
You know, our emphasis has always been, let us do things within the confines of the law. I am totally against mining companies shooting galamseyers, just as I am against galamseyers also attacking the mining company operatives. So we are talking about violence in general, whether it emanates from the company or from the galamseyers. That violence has to stop. So what we are saying is that the state security apparatus has the right to arms, and they have the upper hand because they have a legal right to use the arms. The galamseyers, even if they have the arms, do not have that legal right.
I am saying, Jumani Guya, not dance man, not Obuasi ni ho. It's a AGA no, and then Obuasi, na Obuasi so ni AGA no. Na a bed in Bengwa was say, a nipper bit me to your once you was say, AGC concession no na a Jumani moon, ya more kwamo money or mojuma. Ni Asha ya na AGA for ya banner, the better than money, and I'm wine. A friendly panel mokasa, so a quan a coso. Na the who say, Nipano binu or hon moa ye who say, Sebi, ye nyeduma bia se gold na never pet a quambonis. Yes, answer, and yet.
Angry good Ashanti at times cannot decide that I've paid you so much and the word comes to an end. They should be active in the way monies are used. But again, there's a problem with royalties, and I'll tell you, and I'll address the law if I have the opportunity, because I feel there are inherent weaknesses in application of the law. To the extent that when mining comes to an area, the land is taken over by law, vested in the president for all of us. So immediately you have no access to that land. And when eventually they start mining, you will never have access to the end of time until the mine goes out. And because of that vesting into the hands of the president by all of us, you don't get anything paid for the land, but rather for the crops you may have cropped on your land. I'm sure you've heard about speculative farming. It is to address some of these issues. So the only reliable income for the chiefs directly becomes the royalty, and it is shared between the assembly and the owners, if you like, the chiefs who own Obuasi land. And there are about 5 paramountcies. Under them are numerous sub-chiefs. So at their level, before it's even shared according to the sub-chiefs, the money is already exhausted. So they tell you that they don't even get enough. But a portion that comes to the assembly, that are projects which come under mineral royalties, defined projects, all of which are done and defined as a royalty project. Maybe what has not been done is to paste and let people know that this one came from royalties.
Any mining activity that is not licensed will destroy the environment without making any effort to rehabilitate and to replant. That is the first thing. Most unregulated mining also use chemicals such as mercury, which is also harmful and therefore not advised, especially for gold mining. So some of these things cause a lot of harm to the people themselves as well as to the environment. Unregulated mining also means that the metals for even washing the gold is not done through processing plants. They do it in rivers. So it means a lot of siltation go on through rivers. So generally, there are social problems where it's not regulated mining. There are economic problems because they don't sell to the state most of the time. There are environmental problems because there is no environmental regulation guiding them. There are technical problems because, again, they are not going through the right methods of doing it.
Illegal underground mining is dangerous and costly to everyone.
Yanum ebibirime, yeah. Yanum ebibirime, yeah. Munyirumu, yeah. Munyirumu, yeah. Enimguasi, fata bibirimo. Yari ya mudindi na marikwa ya fremdio. Every